I am Ra. I greet you in the love and the light of the infinite Creator. I communicate now. Question 28.1. Questioner, I may be backtracking a little today because I think that possibly we are at the most important part of what we are doing in trying to make it apparent how everything is one, how it comes from one intelligent infinity. This is difficult, so please bear with my errors in questioning. The concept that I have right now of the process, using both what you have told me and some of your last material having to do with the physics of the process, as that intelligent infinity expands outward from all locations everywhere. It expands outward uniformly like the surface of a bubble or a balloon expanding outward from every point everywhere. It expands outward at what is called unit velocity or the velocity of light. This is Lassam's idea of the progression of what he calls space-time. Is this concept correct? Answer, I am Ra. This concept is incorrect as is any concept of the one intelligent infinity. This concept is correct in the context of one particular logos, or love, or focus of this creator which has chosen its, shall we say, natural laws and ways of expressing them mathematically and otherwise. The one undifferentiated intelligent infinity, unpolarized, full and whole, is the macrocosm of the mystery-clad being. We are messengers of the law of one. Unity, at this approximation of understanding, cannot be specified by any physics but only become activated or potentiated intelligent infinity due to the catalyst of free will. This may be difficult to accept. However, the understandings we have to share begin and end in mystery. Question 28.2. Questioner, yesterday we had arrived at a point where we were considering colors of light. You said, the nature of the vibratory patterns of your universe is dependent upon the configurations placed upon the original material or light by the focus or love using its intelligent energy to create a certain pattern of illusions or densities in order to satisfy its own intelligent estimate of a method of knowing itself. Then after this you said that there was more material that you would be happy to share, but we ran out of time. Could you give us further information on that? Answer, I am Ra. In discussing this information we then, shall we say, snap back into the particular methods of understanding or seeing that which the one, sound vibration complex, DUI, offers, this being correct for the second meaning of intelligent infinity, the potential which then through catalyst forms the kinetic. This information is a natural progression of inspection of the kinetic shape of your environment. You may understand each color or ray as being, as we had said, a very specific and accurate portion of intelligent energy's representation of intelligent infinity, each ray having been previously inspected in other regards. This information may be of aid here. We speak now non-specifically to increase the depth of your conceptualization of the nature of what is. The universe in which you live is recapitulation in each part of intelligent infinity. Thus you will see the same patterns repeated in physical and metaphysical areas, the rays or portions of light being, as you surmise, those areas of what you may call the physical illusion which rotate, vibrate, or are of a nature that may be, shall we say, counted or categorized in rotation and manner in space-time as described by the one known as DUI. Some substances having various of the rays in a physical manifestation visible to the eye, this being apparent in the nature of your crystallized minerals which you count as precious, the ruby being red and so forth. Question 28.3. Questioner, this light occurred as a consequence of vibration which is a consequence of love. I am going to ask if that statement is correct. Answer, I am Ra. This statement is correct. Question 28.4. Questioner, this light then can condense into material as we know it into our density, into all of our chemical elements because of rotations of the vibration at quantized units or intervals of angular velocity. Is this correct? Answer, I am Ra. This is quite correct. Question 28.5. Questioner, thank you. I am wondering, what is the catalyst or the activator of the rotation? What causes the rotation so that light condenses into our physical or chemical elements? Answer, I am Ra. It is necessary to consider the enabling function of the focus known as love. This energy is of an ordering nature. It orders in a cumulative way from greater to lesser, so that when its universe, as you may call it, is complete, the manner of development of each detail is inherent in the living light, and thus will develop in such and such a way, your own universe having been well studied in an empirical fashion by those you call your scientists, and having been understood or visualized, shall we say, with greater accuracy by the understandings or visualizations of the one known as Dewey. Question 28.6. Questioner: when does the individualization or the individualized portion of consciousness come into play? At what point does individualized consciousness take over working on the basic light? Answer: I am Ra. You remain carefully in the area of creation itself. In this process we must further confuse you by stating that the process by which free will acts upon potential intelligent infinity to become focused intelligent energy takes place without the space-time of which you are so aware, as it is your continuum experience. The experience or existence of space-time comes into being after the individuation process of Logos or love has been completed, and the physical universe, as you would call it, has coalesced or begun to draw inward while moving outward, to the extent that which you call your sun bodies have in their turn created timeless chaos, coalescing into what you call planets, these vortices of intelligent energy spending a large amount of what you would call first density in a timeless state, the space-time realization being one of the learned teachings of this density of beingness. Thus we have difficulty answering your questions with regard to time and space and the relationship to the, what you would call, original creation, which is not a part of space-time as you can understand it. Question 28.7. Questioner: thank you. Does a unit of consciousness, an individualized unit of consciousness, create a unit of the creation? I will give an example. One individualized consciousness creates one galaxy of stars, the type that has many millions of stars in it. Does this happen? Answer: I am Ra. This can happen. The possibilities are infinite. Thus a Logos may create what you call a star system, or it may be the Logos creating billions of star systems. This is the cause of the confusion in the term galaxy, for there are many different Logos entities or creations, and we would call each, using your sound vibration complexes, a galaxy. Question 28.8. Questioner: let's take as an example the planet that we are on now, and tell me how much of the creation was created by the same Logos that created this planet. Answer: I am Ra. This planetary Logos is a strong Logos creating approximately 250 billion of your star systems for its creation. The, shall we say, laws or physical ways of this creation will remain, therefore, constant. Question 28.9. Questioner: then what you are saying is that the lenticular star system which we call a galaxy that we find ourselves in, with approximately 250 billion other suns like our own, was created by a single Logos. Is this correct? Answer: I am Ra. This is correct. Question 28.10. Questioner: since there are many individualized portions of consciousness in this lenticular galaxy, did this Logos then subdivide into more individualization of consciousness to create these consciousnesses? Answer: I am Ra. You are perceptive. This is also correct, although an apparent paradox. Question 28.11. Questioner: could you tell me what you mean by an apparent paradox? Answer: I am Ra. It would seem that if one Logos creates the intelligent energy ways for a large system, there will not be the necessity or possibility of the further sub-Logos differentiation. However, within limits, this is precisely the case, and it is perceptive that this has been seen. Question 28.12. Questioner: thank you. I'll call the lenticular galaxy that we are in the major galaxy, just so we will not get mixed up in our terms. Does all the consciousness in individualized form that goes into what we are calling the major galaxy start out and go through all of the densities in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and into the 8th? Or are there some who start up higher in the rank, so that there is always a mixture of intelligent consciousness in the galaxy? Answer: I am Ra. The latter is more nearly correct. In each beginning there is the beginning from infinite strength. Free will acts as a catalyst. Beings begin to form the universes. Consciousness then begins to have the potential to experience. The potentials of experience are created as a part of intelligent energy and are fixed before experience begins. However, there is always, due to free will acting infinitely upon the creation, a great variation in initial responses to intelligent energy's potential. Thus almost immediately the foundations of the, shall we call it, hierarchical nature of beings begins to manifest as some portions of consciousness or awareness learned through experience in a much more efficient manner. Question 28.13. Questioner: is there any reason for some portions being much more efficient in learning? Answer: I am Ra. Is there any reason for some to learn more quickly than others? Look, if you wish, to the function of the will, the, shall we say, attraction to the upward spiraling line of light. Question 28.14. Questioner: I am assuming that there are 8 densities created when this major galaxy was created. Is this correct? Answer: I am Ra. This is basically correct. However, it is well to perceive that the 8th density functions also as the beginning density or first density, in its latter stages, of the next octave of densities. Question 28.15. Questioner: are you saying then that there are an infinite number of octaves of densities 1 through 8? Answer: I am Ra. We wish to establish that we are truly humble messengers of the law of one. We can speak to you of our experiences and our understandings, and learn in limited ways. However, we cannot speak in firm knowledge of all the creations. We know only that they are infinite. We assume an infinite number of octaves. However, it has been impressed upon us by our own teachers that there is a mystery-clad unity of creation in which all consciousness periodically coalesces and again begins. Thus we can only say we assume an infinite progression, though we understand it to be cyclical in nature and, as we have said, clad in mystery. Question 28.16. Questioner: thank you. When this major galaxy is formed by the Logos, polarity then exists in a sense that we have electrical polarity. We do have electrical polarity existing at that time. Is that correct? Answer: I am Ra. I accept this as correct with the stipulation that what you term electrical be understood as not only the one lesson stipulated its meaning but also in what you would call the metaphysical sense. Question 28.17. Questioner: are you saying then that we have not only a polarity of electrical charge but also a polarity in consciousness at that time? Answer: I am Ra. This is correct. All is potentially available from the beginning of your physical space-time, it then being the function of consciousness complexes to begin to use the physical materials to gain experience to then polarize in a metaphysical sense. The potentials for this are not created by the experiencer but by intelligent energy. This will be the last full question of this session due to our desire to foster this instrument as it slowly regains physical complex energy. May we ask if you have 1 or 2 questions we may answer shortly before we close? Question 28.18. Questioner: I am assuming that the process of creation, after the original creation of the major galaxy, is continued by the further individualization of the consciousness of the Logos, so that there are many, many portions of the individualized consciousness creating further items for experience all over the galaxy. Is this correct? Answer: I am Ra. This is correct, for within the, shall we say, guidelines or ways of the Logos, the sub-Logos may find various means of differentiating experiences without removing or adding to these ways. Question 28.19. Questioner: thank you. And since we are out of time, I will ask if there is anything that we can do to make the instrument more comfortable or to help the contact. Answer: I am Ra. This instrument is well adjusted. You are conscientious. I am Ra. I leave you, my friends, in the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Go forth then rejoicing in the power and the peace of the one Creator. Adonai.